With practically a decade of experience in the fitness industry and completely transforming my body from this skinny kid with no confidence to building essentially my dream physique and helping my clients do it as well, I think it's pretty safe to say that I've observed so much when it comes to getting lean, like a lot. I think I've pretty much observed every single crazy trend, all of it, everything that you can think of. And when I say lean, I essentially mean getting rid of the body fat that you have whilst also maintaining the muscle that you've worked so hard for. So today I'm going to give you 5 of the most common mistakes that I see people make when it comes to chasing this goal of getting lean. And I'm telling you, most people do these things. It's likely that you watching this video right now are probably doing at least 1 or 2 of these things. But before we go on, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you do that before we carry on. Do it right now. Mistake number 1 when it comes to getting lean is plummeting your calories way too low. Now, I get it, you just want to get the body fat off of you as quickly as possible, but there's a reason why that's probably a bad idea for most people. If you haven't got the experience with dieting and you're super new to the process and you've never really had super low calories before, you're going to find this really hard. It's likely that your breaking point threshold is going to be a lot lower than somebody who has that experience. The chance of you failing that diet is going to be higher. If as a 6'1", 220 pound male, you drop your calories down to 900 calories in an attempt to get the weight off really quickly and get lean, you're not going to adhere to the diet, and poor adherence, no result. Instead, I would actually just make small tweaks to your current diet. Do you eat ice cream every weekend? Eat ice cream once every month. Eat ice cream once every 2 weeks. Do you drink every weekend? Stop drinking alcohol over the weekend and go to mocktails or go to, I don't know, diet drinks, for example. Making small tweaks is going to be a lot more sustainable, trust me. Mistake number 2 is drinking your calories and using low volume food. This is a major problem. There's this really good saying that I heard from a coach called Emma Story-Gordon who said, just because your calories are lower, it doesn't mean the amount of food you're eating has to be lower. The actual food choices that you make in a diet, they actually matter. It's not just the calories. And look, if you really like McDonald's and you want to diet on a McDonald's diet and have 1 or 2 cheeseburgers a day and that's it, yeah, you'll lose weight, you'll lose body fat, but it's going to be torturous. It's going to suck. You're going to feel like you're starving. The if it fits your macro approach is great because it's allowed people to be a little bit more flexible with their diet, but don't take the piss. It could bite you in the ass. Drinking your calories, using loads of protein bars, eating loads of fast food, not eating enough vegetables, it's going to take up less space in your stomach. You want to use more vegetables. Use things like lettuce, use things like broccoli, use these things like beetroot because they're going to be so low calorie, but you can eat a lot of it. It's also likely that these foods are going to be very high in fiber, which again is going to help you feel fuller for longer. I'd also opt to use foods that have a low glycemic index. Essentially, the spike in blood glucose levels is going to be a little bit less dramatic, which means you're going to feel fuller for longer. Think about having more oats, more sweet potatoes, more strawberries, wholemeal pasta, Greek yogurt, and what else we got? And beans as well. Number 3 is a big one, which is relying too much on energy drinks and pre-workouts, which ultimately disrupts people's sleep. I get it, sleep is boring. Sleep is boring. You don't think it's as important as what it is, but it's so crucial. It's your number 1 recovery tool. Me personally, I like to limit these pre-workout drinks with caffeine for big sessions like leg sessions or back sessions, not have them every single day. And I certainly don't have any of these pre-workouts or coffee in the evening where it's going to impact my sleep. Poor sleep is going to have an impact on your hunger signaling hormones, ghrelin and leptin. And once those are out of whack, you're going to feel unbelievably hungry, more hungry than what you actually need to be. Mistake number 4 is changing your training style or reducing your intensity in the gym just because you started dieting. A lot of people do this. I've heard it so many times where people say, if you want to cut body fat, you do high reps in the gym, lightweight, make the reps kind of pumpy, you want to feel the pump. That's what's going to get you cut up and sculpted and diced and sliced. And you don't want to do any presses, you just want to do flies and squeeze. And then when you want to build muscle, you need to do those heavy compound lifts, because then that's when you're adding on the slabs of muscle. And that is all nonsense. Your training style should stay exactly the same whether or not you're trying to cut body fat or trying to build muscle. You need to use the same techniques that you use to build the muscle, to develop your physique, to grow, to then diet down. Though that method should not change. And you certainly shouldn't be dropping your intensity in the gym. That's the number 1 driver for actually putting muscle on your body in the first place. Progressive overload is still king. And if you're not doing that and practicing that in the gym, you're not going to grow and you're not going to hold on to the muscle that you have in a diet. A lot of it for people is mental. As soon as they go into a diet, they have less food in their stomach, they feel like they're automatically going to be weaker, or my calories will drop, so I'm going to automatically be weaker. And you need to act reactively to your body. You're weaker when you're actually weaker, not when you think it. As soon as you start thinking that you're going to be weaker because of a diet, it's usually going to happen. Just make sure you keep pushing yourself in your training, and that's how you're going to hold on to all of your muscle. And the final mistake number 5, one of the most common mistakes that I see people do when it comes to getting lean is not tracking their NEAT. NEAT stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis, and it's all the energy that you expend outside of the gym. So when you're walking, when you're fidgeting, when you're humming, you know, those people that are just a little bit hyperactive outside the gym, they're always moving around. This is why kids can eat whatever they want and they don't put on weight, because they move around a lot, they're running around a lot, they're hyperactive. But then as soon as you get to your office job, when you get to the adult world, you start to put on weight because you're no longer moving as much as you did when you were a kid. This is essentially your NEAT. And NEAT actually accounts for more expenditure than the energy that you expend when you're training. Do you know how crazy that is? Like, in totality, it's more important that you walk a little bit more, even though it doesn't feel as strenuous, than destroy yourself on the Stairmaster for 90 minutes. One method that you can use to track your NEAT is by tracking your steps, and you can do that by wearing one of these, which is a smartwatch. Yes, you should use a smartwatch like an Apple Watch or a Fitbit. Please don't use your phone. Start off by adding 4,000 steps to your daily routine. So if you're only doing 4,000 steps a day at the minute, take that up to 8,000. That in itself is probably going to help you get leaner. And that's all I've got for you today, guys. And that is the 5 most common mistakes I see people make when it comes to getting lean. Make sure you're not making these mistakes, because otherwise you'll end up just spinning your wheels. Like I said, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more free tips. Everything on the channel is obviously going to be free, and I'm putting out as much advice as I can to help as many people as possible. And if you want even more help, I do offer online coaching. So for more on that, click the link in the description below. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next time.